Hello there, I'm Lance Ash, and this week on Ramblin, we're gonna go rambling through the dusty corners of my mind and my memory. I'm driving my father's Prius to work because our Prius just recently had some... what the hell is it? There's a microwave in the back seat, for God's sake. Oh my God. Anyway, just a week ago we had work done on our Prius because the spark plugs were bad. The coil, whatever the hell that is, leading into the spark plugs, one of them was bad, and we went out. This is day before yesterday. It had the same problem with the car, so we barely made it to the shop. Dropped it off with a note saying, same problem. So that was one thing this weekend. We've been having a problem with at least one mouse. Turns out there might have been more. Bought some poison about almost a week ago, and we saw nibble marks on the poison, but no reaction. God damn! So I bought some traps, and we trapped one today finally. And there's a dead smell back in the laundry, so maybe trapped one and poisoned another. So don't know yet. Trying to think what else. Finished a painting this weekend. Oh, our internet is going bad again. So, a lot of problems going on. Oh, people coming. But, finished a painting. I went looking back over some of my older work. And, once again, shocked at how good some of it is. And the painting I finished last night, it just doesn't match up. But anyway, it's irritating to become addicted to watching stuff online, using the internet, whatever, web, internet, I don't know the difference. There is a difference, but I don't know what it is. And then you don't have access to it. I mean, it's like these people who are addicted to their phones. I had to go to the doctor, my neurologist, on Thursday, and I'm sitting there with my little notebook, scribbling stuff, and look around me, and everybody else is looking at their phones. My little notebook is like my phone. But it's only one way, and it's to people far in the future. Listen to a band called All Them Witches. I've had 3 other albums on my MP3 player for years and never really explored it, but a pretty good band. Also been listening to there's a band, I think they're from Spain, called Horn of the Rhino. Been listening to them lately. And been listening to High on Fire's album Luminiferous, which is like the album, not the most recent one, but the one before that, I believe. Well, thank goodness he turned off in front of me. This guy hauling this gigantic tractor thing, this, thing for cutting a football field. Watched Peep Show a little bit. I think I'm getting burned out on Peep Show. April the 1st is coming up. And for the last couple years now, I've printed up a piece of paper every April 1st saying, "Where will you be a year from now?" with pictures of what I'm currently into. And last year, I had a picture of the Mighty Boosh. And this year, I'm going to put Peep Show on there along with some other stuff. What else will I put? I don't know. It's sad. In my studio, I have pictures of people that I like. And most of them are musicians, and they really ought to be artists, painters, cartoonists. I don't normally eat before I go to work, but I woke up so early tonight that I had a sandwich. I'm not supposed to have any dairy products within 4 hours of taking my thyroid pill, but the sandwich had a piece of cheese on it, so we'll see how it disturbs me tonight, how it affects me. I had a 4-day weekend. I had already taken off Friday because of the appointment, and then we had the first go-around of trouble with the car, so I had to call in for Thursday. I thought I was going to have to call in tonight, but then my dad came through with letting me borrow this car. This car is zippy. I took it to the neurologist, and when I was getting out of the parking lot, there was so much traffic. I found one little split second where I could jump out into traffic, and this car just boom. I get tired of people looking, if they see you driving a Prius, they assume a whole range of characteristics associated with you, and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Oh dear, dear, dear. I feel weird because I got food in my system right now. I dreamed I went to a Ron DeSantis rally and nobody could hear what he was saying because he was talking so quietly. I had some topics I thought of earlier last week, but I can't think what they are now. I didn't want to write them down because, well, I want to live up to the title of the show. We're just going to be discursive. Jump from one thing to the next. I'll tell you what we can do. We can do what we used to do with the old show and go through the CDs in my bag. Got Talking Heads, Remain in Light. I'm looking forward to seeing the new re-release of Stop Making Sense. I'd like to see it on the big screen. Black Sabbath, Mob Rules. Eric Dolphy, Out to Lunch. Another Talking Heads record, Speaking in Tongues. It's a great record. Ozzy Osbourne, Osmosis. And then I brought 4 German language CDs because I really want to double down on my learning. This is some poetry by Kurt Tucholsky. This is a comedy record by Loriot, I don't know how you pronounce it. He was sort of a German post-World War II comedian. This is another album by Loriot. Just little comedy pieces. And then this is, I'm not sure what this is. I think these are little short stories. Not sure. Anyway, and that's it. Talking Heads was one of the great bands of all time. Several years ago, Rolling Stone did an issue about the 70s, and they picked 3 bands to be the embodiment of the 70s. And they picked the Eagles, Fleetwood Mac, and Led Zeppelin. And I was asking a friend of mine what he thought the emblematic bands of the 80s would have been. And he picked Van Halen, Talking Heads, and somebody else. I can't remember. It might have been the Police. I can't remember now. Too bad Talking Heads will never have do another record. You know, Black Sabbath got back together, and they're one last go around, you know, and it turned out to be one of the greatest albums they ever did, no matter what some people may say. And Van Halen got back together for one last record, and it was, in my opinion, one of the best records they ever did. And if Talking Heads got back together for one last go around, I got a feeling it would be really good. If they all pulled together as a team, you know. Of course, who knows? The last record they did, Naked, from '87, was not very good. I remember when that came out. The only records by them I'm missing the live album. I'm missing the soundtrack to True Stories, and I'm missing the first one, 77. I think that's all I'm missing. I've got 77 on MP3, but that really doesn't count. My wife and I listened to some music in the living room. Something we've been wanting to do for a while. Something we were supposed to be doing on the weekends. Oh, I got the clarinet out. Started making some tepid. The problem with the clarinet, though, is you got to put it together. It's not like a guitar. You just plug it in, or with acoustic, you just sit down with it. You got to put the damn thing together, and then when you're done, you got to run the claw through it. A little irritating. I went to I don't know how widespread. There's a music store chain called Guitar Center. I guess they're nationwide. But anyway, ever since Chick Piano closed down, I have to go out to Guitar Center to get anything I need. Chick Piano was a locally owned family business. Got years. Sold guitars and pianos and horn instruments and all kinds of crap. And I used to get my guitar strings out there. And anyway, so I broke a string a couple days ago and realized I was running short on my supply. So I made a list of what I needed, went out to Guitar Center, and all they had on display were sets of strings, and I'm not going to buy a whole set just to replace one string. So I asked the dude behind the counter, "Don't you have singles?" He's like, "Yeah, we got some." He pulled a drawer out and got one of the strings I needed. Anyway, so got to talking to the guy for a second, and it just struck me once again how everybody that works in guitar stores is cut from the same cloth. They all have this sort of, I don't know what it is, mean disposition. Is it mean? I don't know what it is. It's I think it's rooted in this continual competition or one-upsmanship that musicians have. It's always like, some guy comes in to try guitar and he has to, put on a little show about how good he is. And the guys who work there see this every day, and they're all wannabe rock stars too. And then, the people who ran Chick Piano were these devout Christians, and so when they would try out the guitar in front of you, the guy would always play, Dixie, the old Confederate song. Oh, Jesus. Nothing flashy, I like that store. I like those guys. They were nice, quiet. Gotta set the cruise control on this car. Hope we can handle it. I don't want to wind up going 66 instead of 67 the whole way up there. This is a different model of Prius than mine, and I will say this. It doesn't have that stupid bar across the back windshield, which is good. It's more boxy. And totally counterintuitively, the biggest knob on the dash is the temperature control. It looks like it would be the volume knob on an old 70s stereo system. I ate so much the last 3-4 days. I don't know what they're called, corn poppers or something. There are these triangular chips made out of popped corn. They come in like 5 different flavors. God, they're really good. When I went to the neurologist, I decided to get there a little early, with the hope that I'd be seen early. And sure enough, they took me back, almost right away. But I waited in the little examination room an entire hour before the woman came in and spoke to me. And she only spoke to me for 6 minutes. You're looking good, chart's looking good, test results looking good. Any problems? No? Okay, see ya. I finally resorted to opening the door of the examination room and dragging the chair into the doorway and sitting there staring out at everybody. Like, you remember I'm in here, right? That place, a couple of years ago, used to have a little sign up on the desk, on the little nurse's command console desk thing in there, and it said, "Do not talk to Dr. So-and-so. Do not make eye contact with Dr. So-and-so." I am not lying. It was something like that. Like, Dr. So-and-so doesn't like to be bothered. He wants to go about his job. Don't interfere. It's so irritating to have the internet down. All last night, I'd be watching something, and it would pause. I'm painting, right? And I'm listening to something, and all of a sudden you hear, and then you turn around, and there's the spinning wheel on the screen. To go back into the kitchen, unplug the modem, and plug it back in, and hope for the best. Oh, I tell you something else. So we're out and realize that the car is spluttering again. Got to try to make it over to the shop to drop it off. We call our daughter to come pick us up. So she comes and picks us up, drops us off, and on the way back into town, she rear-ended somebody. Called my wife in hysterics. So I called her later and I said, look, don't worry about it. I've rear-ended many people over the years. I can't tell you how many car wrecks I've been in. The great one was when I drove off of a 25-foot tall cliff down into some rocks, driving my girlfriend's car. Bent the car. That was a night to remember. If I'd remembered, I would have done a show with my wife this weekend. Had plenty of time. But what's done is done. And what's not done remains undone. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to bring up. Oh, big prediction here. They're not going to arrest Trump. They're not going to indict Trump. They're not going to do jack shit. Bye-bye.